Yeah, we'll find out. It's going to be wild for sure. Going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of chaos, a lot of pissed off people, drivers. But should create a good spark for the sport. You know, I hear ticket sales are going well, and just the atmosphere is excited about it. So, you know, it's next week, so got to get ready for it.
Do you feel ready for the Clash? Is the car competition ready?
Yeah, I believe so. And Kurt's basically done all the tests in the off season to get the car where we feel like we need to be as a team. So it was good to jump in the car for the first time this year and get some laps and get comfortable and really hit on some things today to make the car even better for me. So Kurt and I are pretty similar. So we'll get a good ABA here to see how we really stack up. But the team's ready. We made a lot of good additions in the off season, including Kurt and Billy Scott and Dave Rogers. So and everybody that we've hired on to run both programs, you know, they've been doing an excellent job, working really well together. So it's been good.
Speaking on Kurt, how important has he been to you and 2011 racing in this offseason?
Yeah, he's been very vocal. You know, obviously he comes with a lot of knowledge and experience, so he's very quick to give his input in a positive way to reinforce everything that's going on. Like, made the first couple of laps, and I was feeling some things, and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, dude. It's just your first couple of laps. You'll be fine. Your second run will go away." And he comes up again. He's like, "To go away?" He's like, I was like, "Yeah." So he obviously knows what he's talking about, but it's good to have Kurt, you know, really going to push each other this year and see how we can stack up. And we were talking earlier, you know, we got to provide, you know, this team with 2 opportunities to win. And so anything we can do to do that is important for us.
Hey, Bubba, Cameron Richardson with the Richard Ford. Obviously, NASCAR is going to the diverse market like Los Angeles. You guys just had the crossover night with the Charlotte Hornets as well. So, just how big is it for NASCAR to continue to have events like this to make those strides in being more inclusive?
Yeah, the Hornets deal was great, and obviously it made perfect sense with MJ being the owner of both, and getting NASCAR fans out to a Hornets game and Hornets fans when the season starts to come out to NASCAR races. So, great event, had a great time. Hopefully raised a lot of awareness for the sport and in both sports. You know, jumping over in their realm is just mind-boggling to see how big those guys are, and just they're just studs. You know, so it's fun to watch, and so we had a good time. But as far as LA, you know, jump into that market. It's huge. It's different. It's diverse, like you said, and so we'll really get a good gauge on you know, just how big NASCAR is. You know, how much we're trending upward. So gotta go out and put on a good show.
Today is Bell Let's Talk Day, which is an initiative to spread the awareness of mental health and being able to discuss it. So just how important is mental health to you, and how do you go about maintaining it throughout a long and grueling season?
Yeah, if your mental health is not in check, then, you know, it's just a downward spiral. And it's really tough to get out of that hole. So you surround yourself with the right people to help you manage those expectations, and just be yourself and try to have fun as much as you can, and just keep the mood light. But you know, mental health is important, and it's good to be talked about more and more. So we just got to make everybody comfortable where they can feel like they can come out and talk about it.
Taryn Walk with NASCAR.com. You said this was your first time in the NextGen car, and you were able to adapt and get comfortable quickly with Kurt's advice. How long do you think in the season it's going to take to be race comfortable then?
That's a good question. You know, we're going to get through these first couple races. Obviously, the Clash is the Clash, so we're going to get through that, hopefully unscathed, and move on and really start our season at Daytona and get those first 5 races. Once you get the first 5 races, you kind of have a good dialogue and a good direction of where your team is. So just got to grind through it. You know, this car is so tricky, and it's a lot to take in. So, you know, every lap on the track, I kept getting more comfortable. So it's just a matter of time before it all clicks, and really, as a team, we find out what we need. So, you know, we'd make some runs and have some head scratches after to figure it out, but it was good to learn, good to try things. That's what tests are for. So, yeah, all's good.
Do we have any additional? What did you?
Are you coming out of retirement? Where you been?
Jim Hunter, motorsport.com. I was just curious, how much did your shoulder affect you during the course of last season? Was it something that you that was just nagging you most of the year and need to be dealt with at the end, or did it really affect you more than you let on during the course of the year?
No, it never affected me during the race. It was always just post-race. Like my back would just be a little sore, and getting some x-rays and seeing what's really going on. You know, my muscles were just protecting my shoulder because it had a labrum tear. And so, don't know how, haven't had a traumatic wreck. I think it's just over the 18, 19 years of driving, just kind of gave out. So, everybody that helped out from the medical staff has been great, getting me back, and everybody at Toyota and TPC getting me back in physical therapy and really ramping it up these last couple weeks to get me comfortable. And you know, I was a little skeptical coming into the test, just not knowing. I mean, it feels good now. I mean, 2 months ago I wasn't able to do that. But I climbed in and no pain during, no pain post, just solid. So I was like, cool. And I actually climbed out. Obviously, I just tested for a few hours, handful of hours, and everything was warm, blood was flowing, and I raised my hand up completely straight up. So I'm like, sweet, got some progress there. I probably just tore everything again doing that, but no, everything has been good with the shoulder. Just post-race, just had muscle knots that we needed to get taken care of, and so hopefully this will do it.
And with only being able to really participate in one test, do you feel personally behind it all going into the new year, or do you think it's a situation where there's going to be a lot of learn by going along anyway, so you might not have really missed that much?
Yeah, I think everybody's learning. You know, I don't know if there's one team or one car that's really had it figured out yet. But again, with everybody that we've hired on, we've been very vocal about post-race or post-test debriefs. Excuse me, and what to expect and what the car would do for certain areas. You know, talking about Atlanta, talking about Daytona and Charlotte. I was there for the Charlotte test and got to be, in the presence of that test. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. I think just getting through those first couple laps yesterday was good, because it was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. My last time in was the Roval test, I think in October or something. So and it's changed a ton since then. So rules packages and whatnot. So and getting comfortable with that is just going to take some time, but it shouldn't take too much.